Um, so I'm going to mention a few things about enrollment and graduation of mathematics majors, and then I'll also go into enrollment and completed minors, and then I say a few other things. So this is a visualization of the longitudinal enrollment. So we have the number of mathematics majors displayed here versus time, academic year. These measurements are, I think there's something called the census in the fall semester of each academic year. So what we see here is 7 years from fall of 2012 all the way through fall of 2018. Most of the data that I will be discussing are measurements that were collected by the Office of Planning and Decision Support of East Tennessee State University, and also some data sets come from what is called the ETSU Fact Book. So a few things to observe here is that, I empirically used to think that we always had 100 majors. So I thought it was like a flat constant, not such thing of flat. But so in 2014, in fall of 2014, we had the maximum number of majors over this 7-year period. We had as many as 128 majors. In this year, in fall of 2018, we have the lowest number of mathematics majors at 75. One thing to observe is that there is, as of fall of 2018, there is a decline, a sustained decline in the number of mathematics majors. Now, let's take a look at this data compared to the total undergraduate population size of East Tennessee State University. So in this graph, you look at the right side, in the vertical axis, in yellow, is displayed, this is the scale for the number of mathematics majors. And then in the left side, in the vertical axis, in purple, you're seeing the total number of undergraduate students of ETSU. So I am sharing this with you almost at the same time as I'm investigating and doing some research on this. So I'm explaining this or sharing this with you to the best of my understanding, the best of my knowledge. When I first collected this data at my first glance or first look, I noticed that, okay, if you look at the purple measurements here, well, it seems the total undergraduate population at ETSU is fluctuating between 11,000 and like 11,300. So there is a fluctuation there of about 1,000 students. And I thought, well, what's the big deal? The total undergraduate population lost 1,000 students, but in the scale of 11,000. Well, it turns out it is a big deal to lose, you don't want to lose any student, but in terms of budget and budget cuts, going down as many as 1,000 students is a big deal. The undergraduate population of ETSU is in sustained decline as of fall of 2012, all the way through fall of 2016. And last year, a year ago, fall of 2017, there was a bump, there was an increase, But one thing to observe is that during the first 2 years, fall of 2012, from fall of 2012 to fall of 13 and then fall of 14, right? We could see that the number of mathematics majors is actually increasing. It's going up. While the entire undergraduate population of ETSU was going down, our mathematics majors were actually going up. That happened for 2 consecutive years. We reached a maximum level, and I mentioned infectious diseases. It's like we got infected with this loss of students after 2 years, and then starting on fall of 2015, our undergraduate population of math majors started. It's kind of like having a delay effect in terms of losing students, And so we see this pattern. So this is for the sake of comparison. So what we see there with the last 4 measurements, fall of 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, is that this is going down. The number of math majors is going down.
Do you have any information about whether most people choose their major in their freshman year or maybe in their junior? I mean, you could see that if the student population went up a little bit, maybe 2 years later, the math population would go up if math majors choose their major later on. Do you know anything about that?
Those are good questions. I have some info here to share in terms of the enrollment per concentration, graduation per concentration, but the classification of freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior, I don't have that per major. I have some of that towards the end over the entire undergrad population of ETSU, but these are valid, pertinent questions. I want to hopefully get to the end because one of the things I think it needs to be addressed is the time to completion. The time to completion. And identifying the younger groups is key, I think is a key. So, but kind of reinforcing another view at the last 4 consecutive years, if you compare the number of mathematics majors of 1 year to the number of the previous year, then you compute this relative percent change. So for the first 2 years here, we had gains, but we've been losing mathematics majors 4 consecutive years. 8% in fall of 2015, 19% in fall of 2016, 8% in fall of 2017, and 15% this fall of 2018. So these are difficult times for our undergraduate program. Here's a look at enrollment in the major per concentration. And so I have to, I'm saying here's a look, meaning that in the lower left here, this graph has a lot of bars and they have different colors. So when you look at these measurements per concentration, there is a group that has no concentration. And this is not undeclared majors. They are math majors, but yet in terms of these measurements, they do not have a concentration at the time of this measurement. Now, the thing with the concentrations is they went into effect as of year 2014, 2015. Prior to this year, they were not called concentrations. They were called tracks. And the rules, there were some different. So the catalog changed effective 2014, and then there were some students that would choose with which catalog they would graduate, and so they would have to. So the reason why we have in what I'm showing you here, large bars here for the so-called undeclared concentrations, because there were changes in the catalog. So probably we really want to look from 2014 through the last academic year, and so the colors, we're looking for red, green, purple, and turquoise, or I don't know, that light blue or something,